In honor of Jim Carolla's 92nd birthday, here's a list of all the things Adam Carolla will do before he dies. Be embroiled in a lawsuit that stems from a heroic story, like I broke the leg of a gangbanger robbing a liquor store, and now he's suing me. Just one of the things Adam will do before he dies. Let's get back to the Adam Carolla Show.
Adam Ray in the studio. Adam's got dates at adamraycomedy.com. You can see him in D.C. You can see him in San Diego.
Also, can I plug one thing? Go to my Instagram, Adam Ray Comedy, for a video I posted today of potentially the craziest thing that's happened to me on stage in my 16 years of stand-up.
Really?
What happened?
And I just want to pimp it out to, I don't want to play the video. It's about 4.5 minutes, but I was doing this 88 show with Avery Pearson and Sarah Silverman and Craig Robinson were on it. And basically the comics do a set and they sing a song with a live band that you've written. And I had a song that I wrote about my friends that have had kids that have basically hung up the fun flag and aren't fun anymore. Bummer couples, BCs, people that show up to a party that starts at 7. They
BCs.
Bummer couples number 39.
Right above Panay.
That's right.
Yeah. And so I sing the song, and then at the end I go, let's add a little part for improvisation to kind of riff off the crowd. So I start singing about my friends that suck because of the kids, but then I'm like, but we still want to have kids. So we start going to the crowd. I'm like, let's find the pros and cons from people. And I go, do you guys have kids? And the guy goes, fuck no. And I go, all right. And I'm singing all this. Do you have kids? No. And then I go, sir. He goes, yes, we have 2. I go, and then I was like, which one is your favorite? Right, and all this shit. And then I go, how old are they? And he kind of draws a blank. So we start busting his balls. I go to the mom. I go, do you know how old your kids are? She goes, well, I'm sorry to say this, but one of them's dead.
Oh.
Whole energy shift.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm not going to say what happens after that, but it was pretty incredible. Super basically, we ended up getting some more details, singing about him. She was like, our dead son would think this is hilarious. We sung a whole harmonized chorus about that. Then we started singing this thing about him and giving it up for him. And she's fucking wiping tears. The whole room's going nuts. It was kind of bonkers. I was getting goosebumps on stage. Anyway, it's on my Instagram.
Adam Ray Comedy.
Yeah.
All right.
So expect that at every show in DC and San Diego.
We got some news.
Please.
Also, quick policy for Uber. Tell me what you think.
Oh, yeah. I would love a good Uber policy update.
I am going to Bryan Cranston's poker tournament 2 weekends ago.
Life rules. Life rules, huh?
Jealous.
Is that one of those cool things when you're on your way, you go, fuck yeah?
Yeah. Thought it was pretty cool.
Okay, good.
And Cranston's cool, and so I'm going to his tournament. And the tournament's almost downtown LA. It's far away. And I'm coming from Malibu. And I'm Ubering over there because it's open bar, and he's got his tequila, and I'm going to have a good time.
Yeah.
So, but it's going to be an hour in the Uber, 55 minutes, whatever it is. The woman picks me up is deep cut Asian. I don't even know what Asian, but she's a deep cut Asian.
Let's look it up. Uber Asian.
She's got her seat all the way up. I mean, she's using her sun visor like a headrest, that far.
Oh, you love that.
And she's driving like a 2020 Acura or something.
Okay.
Huge furry steering wheel cover.
Yeah.
Not what
I thought
pelt,
you were going to say.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Huge. And I'm like, couple things. A, this does not instill confidence in the rider. I know
the furry cover?
Well, okay. Here's the deal. If nobody in the history of Formula One or NASCAR put a super furry cover around their steering wheel, then it does not enhance performance driving.
It's not about that. Asians, we don't go stock.
The steering wheel, and look, there's old steering wheels. My dad had a VW Bug from the 60s. It was hard like Bakelite plastic. You know, in the summer, it'd get really hot. It'd get really cold in the winter. Even older, like an old Ferrari would have like a Nardi steering wheel. And it was wood, but it was thin.
Right.
And, your hands could become fatigued. New cars, it's vented, it's padded, it's leather. It's just no reason to put this big furry thing around it other than to say to me, this is going to be the longest fucking trip from Malibu to downtown ever captured in an Uber. We're not going anywhere. I see it, and of course she's slower than shit, and she's slowing down, and we're missing every light, and it takes forever, and blah, blah, blah. But all I'm saying is, shouldn't Uber have a policy?
I think so.
What if I went, you know what? I'm going to hang a swastika from my rear view. Would that be fine? I made it out of clay.
No flare allowed. You shouldn't
It's
have
not
your
a
own flare.
dreidel. No, but what I'm saying is like, I am sitting in the back staring at this yak pelt around the steering wheel going, we're going nowhere now.
No.
We're going nowhere. You're advertising. And they should be illegal. Do you know that a Brody knob on a steering wheel is illegal? You can't have that
they look
knob.
so cool.
No Brody knob. They have a million things that are illegal. How you put this slip cover around the most important part of this automobile
getting in the way.
terms of averting an accident?
Yeah.
Like, what if a semi truck just jumped the medium and it was coming right at us? Do you think
Well, guess
when
what?
you yanked the thing, it wouldn't slide 3 inches first before
Right.
it fucking grabbed the wheel?
If a semi-truck hit the wheel, Mark S. Allen will be reporting on this story.
he'd
and
be
being like,
live
Adam
and
Carolla in the
on
back,
scene.
but also you would get second billing because he'd be like, an Asian Uber driver is driving with a furry steering wheel cover, much to the chagrin of Adam Carolla. We actually have him live in a coma from the hospital.
It should be a policy that Uber says, no, sorry,
Right.
you
Now,
can't do that.
would you rather fun aesthetics from the driver in the car or additional small talk? Did she kind of keep it clean on that front, or was she chumming you up?
She did not speak English.
Did she attempt and you shut it
No,
down?
there was no talk. There was also Mike and I had a guy had this chick out of Tampa that just picked like a Tahitian theme for her Lilo and Stitch kind of thing with the seat covers and the
yeah.
dash thing, and it's like here's no statements. Is it what I'm saying? Like well, look, what if you said to Uber, listen, I smoke when I drive. Then Uber just go,
Absolutely not.
you're not
Yeah.
doing it. You're not doing it. And if you said, yeah, I like reggaeton and I like it loud, you know what I mean? They just go, no, sorry. You don't do it. Like, they have rules.
I bet they have that rule, and she is just disobeying.
I don't think Uber vets as much as you think. I've had
That's
Uber
why.
drivers fall asleep, and I've had to straight up poke them and then be like, hey, easy, man. And I'm like, no. I'm doing us both a favor. I just had an Uber driver in Seattle, and just his banter should have been illegal, or at least there should have been something on the app. I don't know how. He basically, every fourth sentence, he was like, hey, sprinkle me real quick. Sprinkle me. He reminds me of Dirte, my white rapper brother-in-law, like like if he was a backup singer with Dirte. But Dirte's got a little more swag. This guy had less teeth, but he had more stories. He kept bragging to us about how his 12-year-old son beats up adults on the bus.
Wow.
And then he'd end that story before he could ask a question. He'd be like, and then he just straight up hit this guy, and the cop comes, and he was like, that's what's up. You raised your kid well. Now sprinkle me real quick. Sprinkle me. like riddle me this. Like, tell me something.
a gentleman that likes a plump rear end?
I think so. Well, he's a white dude.
Oh, white dude.
Yeah, white dude. See, but I mean, you
Wow.
could. That's what I'm
Good job.
saying. Like white rapper. He's got white rapper energy.
Oh, like
where he's,
Dirte.
Yeah. And I was chumming him up, and my wife was like, you got to stop. And at one point, he just goes, can I show you pictures of my son? He cooked his own rigatoni fettuccine alfredo combination plate last night. And I was like, I'd love to see it. He's showing the pictures and scrolling, looking back Dumb and Dumber style, not even looking at the road.
Yeah.
And then he goes, and he just put the speakers in my car. Hey, sprinkle me real quick. Sprinkle me. Yeah, you ever know a kid that puts their own speakers in the car right now? I was like, not right now, because you just told me about this story for the first time. He goes, sprinkle me. You want to hear it real quick? I go, not really. Full blast the most insane, annoying, obnoxious, like clubhouse music. And by the way, this is cut to 9 a.m. on a way to an hour Uber drive to see my nephew's last flag football game. And I am as hungover as you could imagine. What's probably the top 3 things that you don't want to hear at 9 a.m. when you're so hungover? Probably the audio from a Panay porn.
Right.
Or quiet, yeah. And then maybe Dawson jerking off in a subway bathroom. And then the third one is this guy's musical choice.
Basically, bathtub rap.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This homemade shitty rap.
Yeah.
Being sprinkled upon.
Sprinkle me.
Sprinkle me.
All right, Chris, let's do a little
Adam
news.
Adam played an Uber driver on Curb.
Yes.
Do you remember
Oh,
that?
that's right.
Yeah,
So
one
he-
star Larry.
Yes.
The amount
He's
of things.
qualified to talk about this.
By the way, and the amount of things that I would that didn't make the cut, I'll just give you one of them. Larry, at one point, the whole thing was supposed to be how, on the little beat sheet, and then you improvise up a storm was, at one point, Larry asked what his rating is. You tell him he's a 1 star, and then, you guys play from there. And he was like, 1 star? What do you mean 1 star? And I think they kept part of this in when I was like, you might feel like a 5, but you came in, Uber says, you're a 1. And then when we were shooting, and they didn't put this in, though, He's like, I'm not a one. He's like, look at me, I'm one. And I kind of do a turn back. I go, I gotta be honest, man, you got one energy. And he's like, what does that even mean? I was like, you look like a guy that's gonna be like just smoking in the back. You know, you're coming in with girls, you're sucking, you're fucking. He goes, I'm not sucking, I'm not fucking. And it got to a really great curved fight. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, oh, they gotta keep this in.
So, Adam, big update just about 20, 30 minutes ago. After a 2-year court battle between the city of Burbank
Cosby's free.
and a Western-themed bar refusing to shut down during COVID-19. A judge has dismissed all of the remaining claims from both sides earlier this month. Tinhorn Flats.
What do you mean dismissed both sides?
Yeah.
So what? So Garagos lost?
Or they said everybody just go home, nobody's in trouble kind of thing.
God damn.
Yeah. So
Is this bad?
Well, Tinhorn Flats is the name of a kind of honky tonky kind of bar,
Love it.
bar, fun local.
Coyote Ugly type bar?
Yeah.
The saloon doors.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Where, in Burbank?
Yeah.
Yeah, owned by a
Barrett
family.
Lepesian.
Lepesian. Or whatever he says it. But I went to high school with them. Cool. The Lepesian family, and then Barrett, the guy I went to high school with, took it over, and it was like family run for like 50 years. And then at some point, a week after Gavin Newsom was hanging out at the French Laundry with 30 of his closest friends,
Yes.
In defiance of all the COVID protocols, then announced that outdoor dining was now illegal.
Right.
And everybody had moved heaven and earth, all the restaurants, to move outside. Space heaters and tables, and people moved out in the sidewalks, and then made visqueen plastic shanty towns and stuff, and moved all their stuff to the sidewalks and everything. And so Tinhorn Flats had a pretty sizable back patio.
Awesome.
And so they pushed everything out into the back patio, and then super blowhard narcissist, man who never stops talking about freedom, Gavin Newsom decided that outdoor dining was also dangerous. So all the pussy sheep heels complied, but Tinhorn Flats said, you have no evidence that outdoor dining is dangerous vis-a-vis COVID. There is no study. It doesn't exist. They never were working off of statistics or data. So Tinhorn Flats basically said, we're taking a stand and we're not shutting down our outdoor dining.
Cool.
I then got word of this and took my son, Sonny, and I said, we're going to Tinhorn Flats and we're going to support them. So we went there and supported them. Then the city of Burbank showed up and they put boards around the place and put a temporary fence around the place. And then eventually they completely put the place out of business.
Jesus.
Padlocked the front doors.
Padlocked the front doors and eventually literally cemented a fence in place around it and completely shut it down.
That's
complete and total fucking overreach. And based on no science or no data whatsoever, they put this 50-year family-run business out of business. And so Mark Garagos represented the family to try to claw back some money from the city of Burbank. But of course, who the fuck knows? I mean, the fix is in. So many businesses should be able to sue so many municipalities for broad overreach based on nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Burbank. Who's the guy? Constantine retard?
Anthony?
Huh?
Is it Anthony?
Constantine Anthony or whatever. Now, the guy was on the city council, is the biggest fucking tard in Burbank. That guy's now the mayor of Burbank. That's the guy who was getting his ass spanked in Drag Queen Story Hour a few months ago. He's a complete fucking idiot.
And
he's now running.
Police, I think, or you want to dissolve police enforcement?
He's just a fucking full-fledged retard, asshole, idiot. And now he's running Burbank. Somebody needs to start fucking suing these people because their overreach is insane.
Yeah,
and it's gotta be done. So I'll talk to Mark. About this and find out what's going on.
All right. So and another story: a man who won a staggering $1.35 billion
Heard about this story
in Mega Millions jackpot earlier this year has filed lawsuit against the mother of his child, accusing her of disclosing his lottery win to family members.
Yeah.
So all the family members.
He said, "Wait until our daughter's born.
Our kid's 18.
Our kid's 18 to tell family."
Yeah.
With rightfully so. I mean, that's money rips. The amount of families I've known that money is ripped apart, and I mean, it's usually when people pass and then there's money and assets to divide up. But But I mean, you want to talk the lottery winners? I would love to see that documentary on the amount of families that have just fucking
Come out
ripped
wow.
each other's pubes apart because there's cash on the line.
There's a bigger. Well, first off,
When you
I
win
win
this much,
this.
I think he got. They said he got how much after taxes?
$723.56 million as a one-time lump sum payment. But after taxes, the amount was just over $404 million.
Yeah.
And the wife
All right.
told her parents and a few pals, probably all the girls at the salon.
Yeah, so he had her sign an NDA saying, you got to keep it a secret until our daughter's 18.
I'd be like, you got to keep this a secret until after our divorce.
I mean, daughter's born.
Oh, yeah.
Number one. Okay.
Oh, man.
All right, number two. This is the biggest fucking scam in the world. This is a tax on poor people who can't afford it. The lottery,
lotteries?
yes,
Yeah.
and none of the money. I don't know. The money
you ever
goes
played
to
it?
the schools. Never. I would never fucking do it. It's a pox on poor people. It disproportionately affects poor and black and brown people who these people always claim to care about, except for they're the ones that are hurt the most over the lottery. And the money, it's the biggest scam in the world. It goes to the schools. Why do we always need more money for the schools if you guys are raping everyone with your fucking fantasy lottery? All right. Here's what I'm saying. How can it be good for the schools? Here's what I've said. If you went into any guidance counselor in any high school in America and said, as a 16-year-old, I need your guidance counselor, what should I be doing? And the guidance counselor looked at your papers and went, you should be playing the lottery. That guidance counselor would be fired. Because that's the worst advice you could give to a young kid. So then why are we taking that money and giving it, of all places, to the schools? Number one. Number two, the fucking number should be the number. It shouldn't be like, oh, our number's $500 million. Oh, you won. Would you like half of that?
You get it all now,
Would you like to get paid $176 for the next 2,000 years? Yeah. It shouldn't be, hey, bitch, it's $500 million.
Yeah.
That's what the fucking
Write the
sign
check.
says.
That's what the sign
and I got a
says.
fucking winning ticket. So that's what I want. It's a great deal, isn't it? Like, okay, would you like half? Does Vegas work that way when you win the Super Bowl? Oh, you won the Super Bowl. Would you like half the money we plan on giving you?
You want the trophy and HPV? Like, no, just the trophy. And that's
Now,
what was advertised.
Here's the thing.
Already
The
got
lottery winners are the worst and comedians are the second. Here's what I'm saying. If you come from a family where you struck it big, and you in the tech industry or the textile industry or anything, right? But chances are, if you come from that family, you have another brother or sister who's a lawyer or who's doing well. There's education.
Yeah.
There's a background. There's a pedigree, right? And you work hard for your money. Yeah. You know, like you go, well, all right, you make a lot of money, but you also have a huge factory in Mexico, and you spend half your time in Mexico. That's where the textiles are made or whatever. Right. When you win the lottery, you, come from a bunch of poor people, could be black or brown, but it's all white trash. You just come from bunches of poor people, and you did nothing for that money. You can't see. That's the problem with being a comedian. Because your fucking shitty family, my shitty family, can go, could I have some money? And you go, hey man, I work really hard. Up on stage, holding a Miller Lite, telling fart jokes. That's hard. Get your ass kissed every night. And they're like, they know you don't do anything for your money. Right. You know what I mean? And if you have a job, like even if you made a ton of money, but you worked a hard job, like there are jobs where you can work a hard. You could be a coal miner and make $250,000 a year if you work really hard, and like overtime and union and golden time. I bet you welders on like Alaskan pipelines. Some of those dudes are probably making $300K a year. Yeah, but no one goes to them and goes, "Hey man, how about you kick a little down this way?" But you win that money. You didn't work for it. It's all luck of the draw. It could have been them, and you come from poor people.
It could have been them. That's the lottery slogan. It could be you, and that's how it sucks the fucking life out of people.
Now you have to kick it down.
Yeah. People hear that. Even when the odds are 1 in 7 billion, they go, gosh, I never looked at it like that. It could be me.
I'm 1 in 7 billion.
I'm 1 in 7 billion.
Yeah, and then this thing of like, it could, it's 1 in 7 billion.
Think of all the other things that could happen to you instead of the lottery.
They go, it's 1 in 7 billion, and then that person has to think that's for all the other poor stooges. This is me. But I'm like, it's 10:30, and you're at a 7-Eleven, and you're wearing a bathrobe. You really? You really think this is you? Do you think you're touched by God?
It's not talking to you. By the way, at 1 in 7 billion, you have better odds of like Terry Schiavo coming back from the dead and trick or treating at your house than
Yes.
you do winning the lottery.
That's right.
And that even that feels
the math
far-fetched.
The math checks out. I just crunched those Schiavo numbers.
I mean, yeah. Now I do think, and that's the thing too. He didn't work for it. He bought the ticket. He won it, but now he feels like, he should just hit up all the family, be like, "Here's your cool mill," and then fucking leave it.
Yeah.
So he's creating a bigger problem, and he's probably, I don't want to say it, I would say watch your back.
Oh
Also-
no! He said he's suing because
He's getting death threats.
Yeah, potentially endangering his public identity and his safety.
Well, what does he do?
He's getting harassed by his family members. He's suffering
coworkers?
emotional distress.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Well then don't play the lottery, dumb nuts, dumb dick. I don't know whatever I was gonna say.
Numb cock. That's what you meant.
Numbcock. Wait, the last thing.
Bruce Lee could spin those things.
Wait. What is Numbcock's first name if he's a detective? David Numbcock? What is it?
It's John.
John Numbcock.
Yeah, they always go John Stonebreaker.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
they always whenever a movie when he's a cop and his name is Lawless or something, they always go John
Lawless,
because it makes you buy it.
It does. Yeah.
Friday nights on Fox.
John Numbcock. I'd watch it. Now does he go John Numbcock or does he go Numbcock John? Which one is it?
Yeah, I like that one.
Wait, all right, real quick, and then we'll move on. Who stars in the Fox hit series John Numbcock? But the show's called Numbcock.
Yeah.
Numcock. So we can get away with it.
Yeah,
I got your
Who's playing
your answer.
Great.
The Boz.
Ooh.
Bosworth.
Okay.
Because he was
He's
in
Lawless.
Stone Cold or Lawless.
Johnny Lawless or something like that.
Well,
wasn't
what was the Boz's series? Was it
We talked about this, I believe, last time I was here. It was
Stone Cold or something? He had a movie like Stone Cold,
Yeah.
and he also had like a biker.
Yeah.
Infiltrates the biker gang. Lawless.
Perfect.
There you go. That's why
Yeah.
I thought about
I'd watch it.
All right, let's do one more. Let's see what we got here.
All right, oh, did you? So Argentina just got a new
I
president.
love this guy.
Yeah, Javier Milei. Mm-hmm. So he won. The AP is calling him the right-wing populist. I mean, you've seen all the videos. He has the crazy hair, the crazy eyebrows. He hates leftists.
Yeah, they're all gonna go nuts on this guy.
Oh yeah. So his support for freedom of choice. He supports freedom of choice on topics like drugs, prostitution, marriage, sexual preference, and gender identity. But he is very opposed to abortion and euthanasia. He plans to slash government spending, dollarize the economy, and eliminate the central bank, as well as key ministries, including health and education.
His speeches are great.
Yeah, he's
he's like liberals. Fuck those tards.
Yeah, that's exactly
like he's
right.
awesome.
It's translated, but that's what
This
it's
is who
translated.
again?
Javier Milei. He's a new president
Or maybe-
of Argentina.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a rogue translator.
Could be.
Because that's what I would do.
Oh yeah.
He'd be saying in Spanish, like, we must feed the poor and we must house the unhoused. He just said, fuck those liberal tards. He also said, for more information, go to AdamCarolla.com for live dates.
Oh,
Touring around.
my
I mean,
God.
I would be that's what I would do if I translated, wouldn't you?
Now, follow up. Do you think a sign language interpreter ever does that at one of our shows, where she's just signing the most racist, inhumane shit to the deaf ears? And they're walking out being
It's
like,
highly-
"I'm not
it's
going to do the
highly
voice,"
possible.
and I was about to, but they're walking out going, well, Dawson, you do a great deaf voice, but no, it's that you walk out and they're like, hey, this guy was a lot more edgy than I remember.
Was I telling you about that weird gag I played on the sign language person?
Oh,
It's on the internet somewhere.
it's got to be.
You as a comedian who plays a lot of theaters and a lot of clubs and will see the sign language person out there
Sure.
and who likes to do a little crowd work, if we can find this, I think we'll appreciate this uniquely because I was in Utah. I think I was in Utah.
Perfect.
And between the first and the second show, somebody said they got a sign language guy or girl
Sure.
out there.
Mostly girls, I think.
And so your impulse when you're sort of backstage is like, oh, I'm going to fuck around a little
Yeah.
with this person. And I think your first impulse is just to swear a lot and have
What's a
them sign it
blowjob
out.
or whatever. I think I asked
Right.
one time what little person was,
Right.
and she didn't want to do it. And I go,
Right.
and she had signed something else I did, and I was like, really, you're going to do that, but you can't do dwarf? And then
But-
I think she went like that.
We just went, she held her hand up
Yeah.
low. I went another direction. Like I figured out a better angle.
Yeah,
for
it's
the
Wise
signed
Guys.
Person.
It's on YouTube.
Oh,
It's
great.
on YouTube. We'll see if we
I think
can.
I might have seen this.
I don't know
Didn't
if
this
we can.
kind of pop off?
I don't know if it got any traction or not. It just, I
Send it to
think
DOS.
for a guy who likes crowd work and a guy
Please.
brought up sign language
Yeah.
and a guy who does clubs, I think you'll enjoy it.
I'll
So
definitely check it out.
We'll play it for you and the audience as well because it's pretty much, you don't need the visual part. All right, you got it, Dawson?
I think it's loading still.
Oh, it's loading.
Well, I'll take this moment to plug my
Yeah, I
movie,
don't have
Love
it yet.
Virtually.
Love virtually.
Speaking
It's
of
available
online.
now on BFD.
About BFD and DOGG.
VOD. Also, live shows coming up in San Diego, DC. You go to mraycomedy.com.
And Dr. Phil Live, I have done at the Comedy Store with Burr and Adam Devine. Carolla, we're going to have to pop you in on one.
I'd
And,
love to.
And tonight actually is with Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee, and then December 4th with Matt Rife, comedystore.com for tickets.
Love all
Those
those.
pop
I don't
off.
know. I don't
are
know,
great, yeah.
Matt, but the rest of those guys I love.
Great.
I'll
right,
be.
I got
All
it
right, we'll
for you.
play it for you.
Here we go.
Damn it. Here we go. And of course, that's not like that.
You're going to be a great dad
Yeah.
because your goddamn it voice
That
was
was
really
good.
believable.
I know.
I believe
felt
you either
it.
stepped on a toy or caught your wife cheating on you.
Well, for some reason, the audio is not coming through. Oh, here we go. Stand by. Here we go. All right.
Do you want to
I
just
was
sign it
told
for
We're
me?
here
that
from
we
the
have
deaf
a
person's
sign
perspective.
language interpreter here who's doing his thing, which I'm fine with. I have no fundamental problem with it, but I thought it'd be interesting to see if we can do a little experiment here. Because he's got to say everything I say. Oh, sorry, there's a pole blocking us, but she has to say everything. Well, okay, first things first. This whole COVID thing has made these sign language guys think they're superstars, right? Every motherfucking press conference I've seen in the last 2 years, there's some dickwad with a black turtleneck, his mouth is moving, his hands are flying around. And there's a theme with these assholes because they cannot express themselves through the majesty of dress like I do, like I'm a peppy dresser. People know I've arrived. You can't sit there dressed like Prince in some kind of paisley cardigan or something and do sign language. They all have to wear black turtleneck sweaters. So they express themselves through having crazy fucking hair and weird beards, and then they sit there next to Gavin Newsom or
Is this his
Como,
bit?
and they're just like
I don't remember
piling
this
away.
All part of it.
But anyway, back to the experiment. Why don't we do this? I'm gonna break off from doing the sign for the show that Adam Carolla is doing right now. He's just a bloated has-been. I see him on Tucker Carlson talking shit all day. Fuck this guy. If we had somebody in here, like
Doing
if
it all,
Janine
yeah.
Garofalo or Patton Oswalt was on stage, I'd sign my ass off. But I totally disagree with that Carolla. I hate his fucking politics. His takes on COVID got people killed, and I'm not gonna stand here and parrot all of his jokes using my hands. And by the way, the jokes, do you really need to hear them again? Blah, 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 return eras, blah, 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 I hate my mom, we get it, we get it. You're an old, washed up sack of shit. But let me direct something toward you. I gotta say, I've never seen a better looking man who is hearing impaired, and I've seen them all. Signing is a very lonely job. I'm out here on an island. I come home to 3 cats that don't care. I long to be held by a man. A man who understands me. A man I could communicate with, even if he can't communicate.
Great line.
My apartment is less than 5 minutes from this club. Obviously, I'm a professional. But when the show ends, I let my hair down. And I cease being a sign language interpreter, and I become a woman. You think I can use my hands?
Great. Please tell me that's, so
Where do you
great.
see what I can do with my mouth?
Yeah. I knew it was coming. I knew it. Brilliant. Great. What a great rant.
You know, I could stand up here for another 51 minutes, signing whatever this racist blowhard's yapping out of his fucking soup cooler. Or we could blow this taco stand, get a couple of drinks, and be up in my apartment in the next half hour. What do you say? I know you're parked up front.
All right, we get the joke.
Yeah, that's fucking great, man.
Yeah, it's an angle.
I mean, it's the best possible take on that because it's also, here's why I love it. You want to talk about just crowd work, the approach. You know, a lot of people now with crowd work will post one back and forth and go crowd work, and it's like for me, it's taking the time and having patience to gather information and build a moment. And what you did there wasn't just a couple like one-off lines. You made a meal out of it. I've never heard or seen that. It's usually somebody goes, do this motion or look, you know what I'm saying? And they just quick. So you really committed and got them on board to where it was like, now they were listening to a whole story. And you put it on yourself, which is great. But putting it on him is really fucking funny. Because you create a whole other.
Well, thanks, Adam Ray.
Man.
And a good note to go out on.
Yeah,
Glad
very sweet.
I could remember that one. AdamRayComedy.com is where you go. And also Love Virtually.
Love Virtually. It was a great movie to do. I voice a bouncer in it, and you got Sherry O'Terry and Stephen Tobolewsky in it, and it's about people finding love in the virtual world, which we all have done at some point in our 30s.
Go to AmCarolla.com. I'm going to be in Fargo coming up on Thursday the 30th. Yes, that's right. And doing a show there at a theater. And then Nashville, Zanies, December 1st and 2nd. And Agua Caliente added a second show in Palm Springs. That'll be Saturday, December 16th. Just go to AmCarolla.com. And until next time, Adam.
And also just thanks to Podcast One for letting us use their
Oh, yeah.
studio,
Great
the
space.
brand new studio.
Great cocktail.
Oh, I got to get one of those.
Great house. The pool. They said we can all stay here and I think
gonna eat.
blow off of Dawson's shoe or something. I forget what they said when I walked in.
It was on
but
the invite, yeah.
It was, yeah.
So, till next time, Adam Carolla, Adam Ray, and Ilan Douglas, and Chris Max Pattis saying, Mahala.